Hi, everybody.
Hello. Oop.
Sound off if you're anybody even here watching us in the chat.
It's going
over here.
live. Yeah, okay. Don't mind me. I'm just sitting waiting outside the studio here for little brother to come and let me in.
Waiting for your keys.
But
sound off in the chat if you're watching, because that's the only way we know if anybody's even watching.
well, Jeff Davis says, "Hey, howdy, Mr. President."
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Why don't you quit moving around so much, your lights? Well, I guess you can't help it, can you?
Nope, I can't. I'm standing out here waiting. I got something to show off tonight, though. I've been working on it a little bit today. Yeah, let's see here. Oh, this is weird. It's backwards. Got me a new sling on the old Charleville.
That's what you've been working on this afternoon?
Yep. Oh.
Jeff
there
Davis
he comes.
is his dad. It's not Jeff Davis. Jeff Davis is his dad. Jeffrey Davis is 15.
Yeah.
So we're trying out some new equipment tonight.
And, I should really probably get a key to our studio at some point.
Yeah, we used to have 3, and then Ethan lost his, and then Ethan lost Caleb's, and then Caleb took mine. So we are down to 1 key, and it only comes home when Caleb does. Can you see how many people are in?
Once I get in here, we'll get some talking going.
Yeah. You froze.
There he is. Am I froze now?
Not now. You were for a minute.
We're live, Caleb. So you know.
So, Jeffrey Davis, since you're the only one in the chat right now, you tell us what you come here for flintlocks or cap and ball or modern stuff, which we don't do very often anymore.
Let's see.
Or cartridge Old West. Could be that too. This is actually just an old Stetson. This was an old Stetson that was in the Cattleman Crease, and I watched a video Santee did on dressing the part, and I steamed it out, flattened it, and then put a flat crown on the top, and it's more authentic. My wife made me this hat band, just knitted it, and I strapped to it for my stampede string.
This
Wheels and Levers is in. Broccoli, hello, Crock. And Wheels and Levers looking for a debate between Colt and Smith and Wesson. Landon Simpson's in. Geez, you guys are giving me motion sickness.
Fine. Don't worry, we're getting it fixed. There's a view you guys are probably a little more familiar with.
Good hat. That's a good hat. I got this hat for free from my uncle. Like I said, it was an old beat up, and it was way too small. And so I just took the liner and everything out of it and steamed it until it stretched. If you go back and watch the Traditions Kentucky Long Rifle video, you'll see this hat before it was reshaped. It was just a hat blank, an open crown at that point. Man, we got Jeffrey Davis and George Washington in. Good evening, George.
Hey, George. There's something you might recognize down there.
We're just setting up still. You might have a little cough here. We've been getting over COVID. We had it. That's why we didn't upload much for the last 2 weeks, and then we uploaded 3 videos. Wham, bam, bam. So
there, can you hear me?
A little cough every now and then. Sorry. Yeah, I can hear you. You're blurry as all get out, but I can hear you.
Yeah,
where's the producer?
He's back here.
$50.
All right, Garrett. What do you want to talk about?
We have some questions already. Wheels and Levers is here for the Colt Smith and Wesson debate, and Landon Simpson already asking what's your favorite gun.
Oh,
Your favorite airsoft?
My favorite airsoft?
Yeah.
I don't know. I got a lot of them. Right now, one of my favorites is this old flintlock right here. It's old Charleville. But as far as revolvers go,
Favorite gun of all
Smith &
time?
Wesson's pretty hard to beat. Smith & Wesson Model 29 especially. What about you, Garrett?
I really like the single action army, of course. And it's a toss up between that 51 Navy. I really like the 51 Navy, but of all time, even modern stuff, by 1917.
Yeah, I got one of those too. Except for mine hasn't been butchered like yours has.
It's one of my favorites of all time. It's not one we haven't shown it on the channel yet. It's sporterized, but it's definitely one of my favorites just because it's one of, I don't know, I shoot it really well. I got it really cheap.
You Birdie Walker. Yep.
Birdie Walker. Should be a Walker there behind Ethan somewhere.
Walker airsoft gun? Yeah, it's up there on the wall. That Colt 3rd generation.
Second generation.
Yeah. So just to kind of let you guys know what's going on here. If you hadn't noticed, we went through a pretty bad dry spell there for a little while where you weren't seeing much of anything from us. And that was because we all came down with COVID. And I was pretty sick. I was running a pretty high fever for about a week. And old Garrett, he still got the cough. And
I'm over it, but the cough lingers. But
yeah, it wasn't much fun. As a matter of fact, that's why we're making this video right now. Usually we would be in church right now, but we're still kind of quarantined. Not really us, but some other people. So, yeah, they called off church. I do love a well-made flintlock rifle, especially when I'm using it on Tories and the like. Well, George, you ought to recognize this then. This is a good old Charleville. This is what your boys would have been carrying a lot of. And
I like we got Jeffrey Davis in here and George Washington. I'm just waiting for Bannister Tarleton to show up.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
But yeah,
Even I like your name on your screen.
Yeah, I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, well, whatever. You guys know who I am. But anyhow, so other things that are going on that we need to talk about here is that.
We need to talk about them. Can we just forget them? Can't we just forget them?
Forget what?
Forget what's coming.
Oh, well.
No, go ahead and talk about it.
We kind of mentioned this in a previous video. You guys are going to be seeing a lot less of me in these videos coming up here shortly. Namely because I'm still with the National Guard, and I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail what's going on, but I'm going to go to a school for over a month here coming up pretty shortly. I won't let out any dates or anything, but I'll be gone to a school for over a month. And I will say this, it's down there by Santee's part of the world, so maybe if I can get some leave time, I might go down and see him if he'll take me. But and then I'll be home for about a month, and then I'm going to be gone for probably over a year with the National Guard. And before everybody gets all excited about it, no, I'm not going to Iraq or anywhere. I'm not going back to Syria. This time I'm not going to say where I'm going exactly, but we'll just say as an infantryman, it's what we like to refer to as a vacation rotation. So, yeah, we ain't going to be doing much, but I'm going to be gone for probably over a year coming up this next year. So, yeah.
Hence one of the reasons that the history of the handguns of Colt has been on hold. Because first I got sick last spring, and then we were really busy this summer. And then as soon as we found out he was leaving, of course, we've thrown all our focus into getting more flintlock stuff out before he leaves. There'll be some stuff that we'll release as time goes by, even when he's gone.
Yeah. Oh, I got something to show you guys. Those of you who are in the live chat, this is going to be a treat for you. See if you guys can guess what this is. Airsoft, by the way, airsoft.
He's cleaned up a little.
He's cleaned up a little bit, but it is original. And it's another flintlock. But It looks like a Charleville until you get to that right there.
From the other side.
Yeah, and then the other side, it's got, instead of a lock plate, it's got that little tiny washer.
No
Yeah.
crock prop broccoli. He's going the other direction.
Reliving fixed. I can't read that from here.
Relieving fired nurses in New York.
Yeah, no, I'm not
I
doing
wouldn't
that.
want Ethan working on me.
You don't want to see my medical skills. I've been to combat lifesaver course about 4 times, and I about got kicked out of the last course. So, yeah. No, I'm not. I'm not relieving nurses in New York. I'm not doing anything like that. It will be in another country, but I'm just not going to say where. Yeah,
Don't worry.
Yeah,
We're setting up these live stream. I just set this computer, this whole stream room up. Eventually, I'm going to turn the lights on back behind me, and I'll have some guns on the wall and stuff back there. But the reason we're setting this up is so that we can stream with him, hopefully, from the base that he's going to be serving at. So every now and then we can at least bring him back on the channel, because the Flintlock section of our channel is going to dry up because I have 2 Flintlocks myself personally, and not really my thing. I like the ones I have. I'll probably do something with them. Maybe Caleb will, but for the next year or so, it'll only be what he brings to a live chat for Flintlocks. We'll go back doing a lot more cap and ball, cap lock stuff. It's going to be a lot of cap and ball stuff.
We really haven't shot the old pocket model very much here lately. Really, to be quite honest, most of the shooting we've been doing here lately, you get to watch us do on our YouTube channel, unless it's a video that doesn't get put out.
Now, it depends on what you mean. The 49 pocket model we haven't shot in a while, but we also have
technically, I just shot a Smith & Wesson pocket model.
We have a new
pocket
pocket model.
Yeah,
it's actually
but not the
new model of pocket pistol.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
haven't shot it 49. The new model pocket pistol, a lot of people call the root revolver. Yes, we have that here, and as soon as Ethan's gone, we're gonna get that film.
Wow.
Yeah, he says the Colt one. That's what I figured he's talking about.
Yeah, I was just segueing into the 55 route.
Yeah. Colt single action Army versus 1911.
1911.
Yeah, that's
1911.
I hate to say it, but that's where I go.
No, I mean, see, it's easier to conceal carry. It holds more ammo. It's still really powerful.
Colt Lightning.
I mean, I carry a single action from time to time, but I do like 1911. If I got to defend my wife or my nieces or nephews or something, I'd rather have the 1911.
What do I think? What do we think CZ is going to do with Colt? Well, it's going to be funny whenever Garrett finally makes enough money one of these days to go get himself a real Colt single action Army, and it says CZ single action Army. I don't know. What do you think, Garrett?
We've already seen what they're doing. We've already seen what CZ's doing since they've taken over Colt. They've already released the 2020 Python, and they're going back and re-releasing and doing. The first few were a little rough, but they are re-releasing a lot of the classic double action revolvers, a lot of things that Colt should have never stopped making. They're going back and doing a lot of those name brand guns that, you know, everybody's grandpa swore by 50 years ago. They're going back and doing that, and I think CZ is the best thing probably that's happened to Colt in a long time. I mean, there's really no original companies left. Not even really Smith & Wesson. I don't know, Mossberg's original, still the original family. But I think CZ's a good thing for Colt. They are taking them back and going back and doing things that they should have been doing all along. Colt has always, ever since the beginning, been hungry for military contracts. For the last 180 years, that's what, you know, they've been going after. They don't really have, I don't think they have any military contracts right now. And a lot of times they would, you know, if you were a civilian, you couldn't have a single action army for like the first 4 years of production because they were all going to the military. So that really put that gun behind in the as far as the westward expansion is concerned.
I go back to that
Right now,
1911
they don't
versus
have.
single action army thing just for a second here. I guess you were asking which one would we prefer. If I'm going to war, I'd probably take a 1911. But if you offered me an original Colt single action army or an original Colt 1911, I'm going to go with the single action army. One, because I will shoot it, and two, I'm a reloader, and that is one reason why I'm a big revolver guy. Because if I don't know if you tried to go and collect your brass in tall grass after you got done shooting the semi-auto pistol, but it's not very much fun. That's one of the reasons why I am a big revolver guy, because that's the only way I can afford to shoot a lot.
Or you gotta try to collect brass after you unloads the 1.5.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Is there any new news about GoX and them shutting down? Only what I'm picking up from a lot of the other black powder channels. GoX for years, they had a military contract. They were making the exploding projectiles, and that is pretty well done. The United States
I would
military
suggest you go check out
Hoffman Reproductions.
Hoffman Reproductions video on it. He does a pretty good video on it. Another big flintlock guy.
What I understand is they had a fire.
They had a what?
The way I heard it was they had a fire, and it just wasn't gonna. They weren't going to be able to make their money back if they rebuilt, which is fine because we don't shoot a lot of GoX anymore anyway. It's either going to be our own homemade powder or something really fine. I like Swiss.
I like Swiss too.
It's like $5 more a pound. Okay, yeah, it's a little more expensive, but especially in flintlocks, I like Swiss, and it's not going away. They may buy it all up here for a little while because that's what people do.
I'll tell you, we've actually been going. A lot of the powder we've been using here recently has been Graff and Sons powder, and I'll tell you that stuff, it burns dirtier, but it is about $8-9 cheaper.
Jeffrey Davis talking about $60 a box of 50 for a single action army. I think you have to reload your own. Get you some wheel weights, and it's no time like the present to reload.
Yeah,
and that's a fairly easy round to reload, straight wall. Pieta snubs, any good? Haven't really. I mean, I've shot snub noses. I can't think if it's Pieta or not. We shot those Derringers and stuff. The Pieta, if you're talking about like the snub nose, like the Avenging Angel and that kind of stuff, should be just as good as the full size gun, just with a shorter barrel. I've heard they have issues with shooting high, but that's cap and ball for you. I actually have a frame over there where Ethan's at, an original. It's original to me. Pieta Remington New Model Army, and it's just the frame because we shot that thing to death over the last 20 years. I would love to cut that down into not an Avenging Angel, I guess, but a snub nose and see how that would work. George Washington loves his Cajun Nice CZP09. It goes where he goes.
Good. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
I'm probably breaking the rules for traditionalist, but a lot of people, they'll ask me like what I carry for a carry gun. I gotta say, depends on where I'm at. If I'm on the ranch, I may be carrying something in the pickup like an AK or an AR or a bolt action or something like that. I don't carry ARs very much anymore. Sometimes I carry a musket. But as far as pistols go, if I'm on the ranch, I'll carry a big old honking revolver. But as soon as I go to town, I usually go with something like a.
Don't say A-Rex.
I go with the A-Rex a lot more here recently because you can carry it inside the waistband. People don't get so offended by it.
Jeffrey Davis has cut down a Uberti Walker into a snubby. Woo! There is historical accounts of that being done. Texas Rangers, 4 or 5 of them anyway, have recorded cutting off the barrel of that Walker. That thing puts out a pretty good sized fireball. I bet it does. He said he didn't cut off the loading lever hole, so I can still use loading lever. if you remove it, hey, at least then you can get through all 6 without the loading lever coming down.
Yeah.
But I honestly wonder how much power you lose doing it that way, because I don't know. It'd be interesting to find out.
Though.
The only walker we have is that 2nd generation Colt, and so we're probably not going to be cutting a barrel off of it anytime soon.
Yeah. Well, anyhow, I've given him enough chance to try to guess what this monstrosity is. I'll just tell you guys right quick. It's kind of interesting.
I don't even remember what it is.
Need to do a video on it sometime. So this is a Belgian trade musket. You've heard of the Northwest trade gun, the African trade gun. Well, there was an order made for a bunch of flintlocks out of Liège, Belgium, and the people who made the order were putting it in for an African company, and it was in the 1870s, and they wanted a flintlock trade gun, like Northwest trade gun, and they wanted it based off the Charleville. And I don't know if some of these parts actually look like they were taken off of a 77 Charleville, especially you see this trigger guard down here with the finger grooves, and this front barrel band. It looks like one off of the naval, one of the naval models.
Why'd they put a bayonet lug on it?
Yeah, it's got a bayonet lug on the bottom there. And evidently the company who ordered these were not very impressed with them. Oh yeah, and the other big thing right here is this was actually taken off of one of their yeah, it was a percussion. I think it was either a percussion or a single shot rifle. This big old long lock plate here, and they converted it over to be a flintlock lock plate. And evidently these were not very popular with the people who bought them, and they were kind of looked down on. But we may try to tie this thing up sometime and see if it'll fire. But yeah, that's what that is. That's a really weird piece of history. And then, like I said, this is a really weird looking Charleville. But yeah, that's what it is.
Got about 2 weeks, Ethan.
Do what?
Got about 2 weeks.
Yep. I just found a new marking I've never seen before on it.
What is that?
We actually have, with that, I guess we have 3 flintlock videos that we need to get made before you leave.
Yep.
At least. A few more. We got accuracy tests, the traditions.
Oh, and we're about to have an Arquebus. Just made the order last night. We're on the waiting list.
Yeah, that trigger guard does look like a trade gun type. The Northwest trade gun, that big trigger guard. I don't know. Some people say it's so they could get 2 fingers on the trigger like they would a native would with a bow. I think it's just because it's easier to get gloves in there. Myself.
Yeah.
We have a Northwest trade gun that is an Indian musket that's been completely redone. We haven't filmed it yet. We need to get that done.
Yeah, that's on the agenda. Let's see here. Did you get down any of those questions from our videos that you were wanting to answer?
Let me turn this over and see. I got a missed call from Ethan. Sorry, Ethan.
No problem. That was a Gunfighter 45 ACP.
Half tempted to call Duke and get him on the phone. He won't know he's on live stream.
Yeah, do that.
That'd be me.
Just hang on. He's driving down the road, I think, heading back to Colorado for a few days.
Yeah.
Let's see. Gotta go to the dashboard.
Well, Gunfighter, I'll tell you. Let my brother get done coughing with his COVID over there. I'll tell you this. Another video we got planned in the near future when we got time is we'll probably be doing a 1911 video, and we may dedicate that video to you because you've been one of our longtime subscribers, seeing as how you're a big 45 ACP guy.
And the fact that we got 1911s running out our ears and almost 2 years on this channel, we've still yet to review one for some reason.
Yeah, kind of like that Model 29 Smith & Wesson. Well, it's probably my favorite revolver, and I've always
gonna do it. You never get it done.
I've only shot it in one video. I think it was our very first video out on the range. Only time we ever shot that thing.
You ready to answer some questions?
Let's see here.
I got one for you from the comment section. This is actually a week old. Ethan keeps forgetting to answer it, so I told him I'd just ask him here and then answer it. It's about making paper cartridges for the Charleville muskets. That's by Mario Garcia. I have a question. If I were to use 60 caliber round ball, what would you recommend for the low power to normal power powder charge using Swiss 1.5F? The same question goes for a 69 caliber ball. Just bought his 1777 Charleville musket from Military Heritage, and I kind of new to finding black powder charges for it.
So the only reason I shoot 60 caliber in a Charleville is because it is hard to find a bullet ball for a 6.48 caliber round ball for the Charleville. I can buy them.
Hey, Angelica,
that's kind of expensive. So I use a 60 caliber, namely for the economical purposes. And when I do it, I load it with my light load is 75 grains of 1.5F. 69 caliber, I usually load about 85 to 90 grains for my lighter load in the Brown Bess or the Matchlock or something like that. You got a question here from old Landon Simpson. Favorite lever action? I got.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got a 92 Winchester copy up there. I got an original 73 Winchester. Out of the ones I've shot, probably would be the 73 Winchester, but what I really want to shoot is the 1895 Winchester in 30-06. That'd be pretty fun. But out of the ones I've shot, 73 Winchester all day, every day.
Well, I mean, I have some original lever actions. I really like the 94. I had one made in 1911. I have original 73. To be honest, though, to go out and just shoot for the fun of it, that Rossi copy, the Rossi R92, it's got a 24-inch barrel and 44 Magnum. And when you load that thing up with 44 Special, that's a lot of fun to shoot. Of course, I'm going to say I like my original 73 better, but as far as the reproductions go, I really like that. It's up above Ethan there.
Hey, Ethan, get that air.
Can you hear me, Ethan?
Yep. That
is my favorite by far. It's been sold and traded a few times. I bought that thing probably 15 years ago now. Just to go out and shoot, I absolutely love that thing. Octagon barrel, full length, stainless steel, Rossi, and it's never given me any issues whatsoever.
Yeah, pretty fun rifle. Except for the safety on the top, that looks kind of goofy.
I have never turned that safety on, so therefore it's never bothered me. And you can actually fill that in.
Safety don't even.
I got a question here from iPod Walker. What about the pattern 1776 rifle? Rifle.
You better enlighten me, Ethan, because I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, I got to remember, what year did the Ferguson come out? Is that what you're talking about? I would really like a Ferguson. I know the rifle shop makes parts.
Walker probably knows something we don't.
Yeah, probably.
I haven't run across it. It would have to not be American made. I mean,
I really need to get into the rifles of the time period more. I'm definitely more of a smoothbore musket guy.
Elaborate on that, iPod Walker. Do you have any 22 single shot rifles? Looking at buying one, not sure which brand to choose. I can't.
We've had a lot of them, but I don't know if we still got any.
Yeah, there's a few of those kid style ones still floating around that we have. Mostly our nephews have them over at their house. They are like a bolt action, but you have to cock. It's like a Mosin Nagant, except you have to cock that piece manually every time. Those are okay for kids. Personally, my favorite that I've owned has been once again a Rossi, and it was even a synthetic stock one, but it came for like $130. It came with a 410 barrel and a 22 in a carry bag, and I really enjoyed it. I don't remember what the model was, but it had a fiber optic front sight. It was a really accurate single shot 22 rifle. We grew up on semi-auto 22s.
1776 was a British response to the American long rifle. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that. I don't know a whole lot about that. Like I said, I need to get more into the rifle.
I've heard it. I've heard of it.
Yeah, I think I have too, but I'm definitely more into
reality.
The smooth rifles
in the Revolutionary War were such a niche thing, you know. So mostly what we study is the smooth bores because that's mostly what we have. But I've heard that they had sniper units that were armed with rifles. So
yep. I'm trying to read his comment here. Yeah, they're never issued as a group as with Ferguson's. Yeah, I've heard about that. Was that sounds like it might have been some sort of predecessor to the Baker. I don't know. You have to enlighten me on that. I have to look that up. That sounds interesting.
I've heard of them now that he talks about the British gun that was a response, because they had an entire rifle squad that was just marksmen, that was British. But as far as especially Americans, rifles in the Revolutionary War were a very uncommon thing.
Gunfighter 45 ACP saying, I'm trying to remember. I think there was a 79 caliber Dutch flintlock first fired at Bunker Hill. That kind of sort of looks like a Charleville too. Yeah, there was a lot of European countries actually copied the Charleville, and I know the Dutch had done it, and the Norwegians had some that were pretty close to the Charleville.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't there only 3 major patterns before around 1780 would be the Prussian pattern, Charleville, and the
so the Prussians had the Potsdam. The Prussians had the Potsdam. The Spanish, I'm trying to remember what theirs is called. I can't remember what theirs was. French had the Charleville. British had of course, the land pattern and the sea pattern, which were later on referred to as the Brown Bess. Yeah, that sounds right about Bunker Hill, though. I tell you, that's
1776 had the attached ramrod. So what I'm picturing in my head is an Aston style, like the Aston pistol.
I have to look that up.
Maybe I know what he's talking about now. I just haven't done any research.
Maybe one of these days when I'm rich and famous, I might be able to find a kit of some sort somewhere. But I got to get a wall gun first. That's on my agenda. Let's see here. Yeah, you're talking about Bunker Hill. That was interesting. You guys ever read about Dr. Joseph Warren? What happened to him up there? Pretty heroic story. G Wheeler.
Mountain Man style gun coming my way. Well, what? English trade gun. Very nice, very nice. English trade gun. So you're talking a Northwest style trade gun. Hopefully. Hudson Bay type, yeah.
Hudson Bay type.
I have one of those in the other room right now, actually. But I don't really gonna get up and get it.
Should be getting a video on that one pretty soon.
Yeah, it's the most popular, shall we say, the gun that won the West. Hudson Bay flintlock smoothbore.
What other old stuff are we interested in? Besides guns?
Guns last longer than everything else.
They really do. Old Caleb here, he's got a few antique cars, trucks, bulldozers.
What do you got sitting out there, Caleb? What year is that truck in front of the place right now?
48 or 49.
Yeah.
International.
Yeah, 48 or 49 International.
He has a 55 Pontiac.
Yeah. Chieftain. And that little bulldozer. Is that D2?
Yeah.
Yep.
D2. And besides that, we collect motorcycles and I collect old video games from the 80s. It's probably not something very popular on this channel. Our analytics say most of our viewers are over 65.
Well, let's see here. Landon Simpson says, "Do we know about the safe way to carry 6 rounds in a Colt single action army?" Yeah,
Okay.
Plowboy's done it. Plowboy's done a video on it too. I think he did it
on the Schofield, and the Schofield's different because I think he's actually done it on both of them. You can.
You watch that Smith and Wesson number 2.
Certain modern replicas, you can get away with it.
Yeah.
Because the springs are not, they're coil springs now instead of flat springs, a lot of them. I'm not going to say every one of them you can do it. Yeah, I'm not even sure which ones you can do it with. But there's some of them you can. I would definitely check out your spring system to see before I did it. I know like the U-Birdie Model Ps, everything now, they have coil hand springs. And the trouble is you're not supposed to take, especially don't take an original and carry it with the hammer between. I mean, maybe you can get away with it. I don't know. I know you're not supposed to because those flat springs will break if you come back from with the cylinder where it's at and you try to cock it all the way back. You're only supposed to come back from half cock and then all the way down and then cock. So,
yeah, if you watch that Smith and Wesson number 2 video that I did just here not too long ago,
your research.
I was reading the original. I got some good books on Smith and Wessons, and I was reading one of the original things Horace Smith had wrote about it on how to carry it. And I actually think it was written about the 1.5, if I remember right, you know. But he says, which they're pretty much the same gun, and he said to load it all the way up, carry it with your hammer resting in between the cartridges. So that's how I'm going to be doing the Smith & Wesson guns here pretty much for the foreseeable future.
Originally, the military documents said you were to put it back on the first safety click.
Yeah.
Which on a Colt, anyway, you're supposed to put it back on the first click. There's 4 clicks on an original Colt. There is some issue. There was a recorded incident sent back to the Colt factory of a man taking his saddling a horse. So when you saddle your horse, when you tighten the cinch, a lot of times guys will take the stirrup leather, hang it up over the horn. Well, this guy did that. Well, the horse spooked. The stirrup leather came down and hit the hammer and drove it down on that, shot him through the leg because it broke the back of that little bitty sear off. So immediately Colt was like, yeah, don't do it that way. Even though the original stuff says you can, Colt was like that, just carry it on 5. That was their doctrine after that. And, you know, that would be like hitting it with a hammer. That's like an act of God. That's something that shouldn't happen. So you could carry it technically loaded with 6 on that safety notch, but it's just not very well. It's not a very deep notch, and it can shear off.
Okay, back to the question about the like an old stuff. What other old stuff? G. Wheeler says, "Are you interested in how about old coins, 1880 silver dollar?" Huh, that sounds pretty cool. I'm not much into
old money if I had any old money.
Or yeah, I don't hardly have any new money.
I would like. We have some Confederate money, I guess, floating.
Yeah, I got some Confederate money. I got actually some ISIS money, some real ISIS money that I acquired on my journeys, but it's not very old. But that's about the only collectible coins I've got. Let's see here.
Gunfighter wants to ask Caleb how the Killdozer project's coming.
You do a
little hand clutch work, but it is running.
He just finally got it to steer. In that video, we cut the video short because he found out he couldn't steer after he got going down the road. But now he finally got it to kind of steer, and so that's a step in the right direction.
Let's see here. We're getting a lot of comments here. Oh yeah, back to that old one more thing. I didn't really say what I like, though, is older stuff, and it's mostly replicas. But I do kind of like old swords and tomahawks and knives. And I've actually got a German Zweihander that one of these days I want to make a video on. It's a
let us know if
pretty
you
big
guys
sword.
be interested in any sword stuff, because we have a lot of medieval history stuff that we could put out.
Let's see. Have you built any of your own black powder guns from the ground up? Nope, but I really am interested
Yes
into
and
it.
no. Yes and no.
What are you talking about? I mean, we did work on that Griswold. We converted it, and that was a lot of.
He's talking about what I've done is taken. Okay, tell the dirty little secrets on YouTube. I blew up a U-car.
Oh yeah, that was a long time ago.
I blew up a U-car a long time ago. I was testing the barrel, and surprisingly, these India-made muskets that everybody calls Bombay pipe bombs and stuff, they stand up better a lot of times in our testing than the. We need to film some of this testing, but they stand up better a lot of times than the Spanish barrels that are proofed. And I blew one up. I bulged the barrel right in front of the barrel band. And so as far as from the ground up, not necessarily, because what I did was it was a rifle. I cut the barrel off, and then I just built everything else. I used some old scrap parts from some other guns, built the lock, I built the wood stock, and I made a handgun out of it. And so as far as the ground up, no, I have not made a barrel, but just about every other part we've made or put together. We cut that.
Wasn't Hickok carrying a number 2 on that fateful day? Yes, he did have a number 2. He actually had, I was reading the Smith & Wesson catalog, he had a couple of number 2s. But I don't know if he was actually carrying it. I don't know if it was on his person whenever he got shot. I don't know if he had to turn it in at the bar. What say you, Garrett? You're pretty smart about that whole situation. We were just there.
Yeah, it was on him. It was on him.
Was it on him?
It was on him. I don't believe there was a Deadwood was not a legitimate town, so therefore it really didn't have much of a legitimate law at that, especially at that point. So yeah, you could do whatever you want in Deadwood because you were on an Indian reservation.
Yeah, another thing. Let's see, what was I thinking about that whole incident? I kind of lost my train of thought there. Oh, well.
Yeah, he was carrying number 2.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was gonna think. That's what I was thinking about. So another video I would like to do, but I'm not gonna get a chance to, at least not till like 2023, is I would like to do a test, and I've already kind of experimented with it, about the power of that 32 rimfire cartridge. Everybody likes to compare it to like a 22 long rifle. I did a little testing with it, and I'll at least tell you this: it's much more powerful than 32 ACP. And a lot of people like to seem to carry that cartridge for a carry gun. 32 rimfire is actually, it's no joke, especially when you load it right. Steven's favorite is like a sharp rifle, but 22, absolutely. Them little Steven's favorite rifles are pretty cool little guns.
Or the Stevens crack shot would be.
We were actually we came this close to getting a Frank Wesson 22 caliber pocket rifle.
I bought one for 41 Colt 1896, fired one. No, but we do have some 41 Colt stuff coming. There is a 38 long Colt sitting there next to Ethan. That is a 1877 Lightning. I have not fired 1896 in 41 long Colt though. By 1896, if I was back then, especially, I don't believe 41 long Colt would be my choice.
Yeah.
Where is that Lightning?
There you go, guys. There's your little treat. A little bit of work. Old Caleb here, and I helped him with it a little bit. I was mostly working on a Smith & Wesson double action. She's working, and she's in time. And you guys are going to be getting the video on this one here someday, whenever Garrett gets to it.
That is the 1877. But yes, we do have some 41 Colt stuff coming.
Let's see here. Talking about those coins. Let's see,
Confederate money. Confederate money wrapped in bubble gum.
Boy, I'd have bought a lot of bubble gum if that was the case.
You used to talk about, you'd watch an old show or something from the 50s, and they'd be like, they got all this money, but it's Confederate money. It's worthless. It's like nowadays, if you got all that in Confederate money, you would be so much more wealthy than you would if it would have been in Union dollars.
Silver dollars can be had relatively cheap depending on their age. Gotta get a few well-worn ones. That would be something kind of interesting. If I did it, I would definitely be more interested in the 18th century stuff. I think I don't know if you guys watched Townsend's. They'd done a video here about a year ago on some 18th century coins. That was pretty cool.
Well, we're
Old sword. Yep.
Yeah,
it's coming one of these days.
We do some.
I've got to sharpen it up first, and I don't know if you've ever seen anybody sharpen what the Germans called it, the Zweihänder Flammenschwert, which means the two-handed flame sword, because it's got the curvy blade all the way to the end, and that's going to be
a great sword. What do they call that curve? That's
they call it the Flammenschwert.
The flaming sword. But it's got that. I want to say
the French call it the flamberge.
I don't know. There's a name for that wavy blade.
Yeah.
Right now. If anybody in the comment section knows, let us know.
So let's see. So
it depends on the action. It depends on the action, and a lot of times the springs are what tells you what kind of action you have landing. I'm going to say that I'm not going to say you shouldn't, because I trust Plowboy, and if he says you can watch his videos, but I don't carry 6. I mean, I don't. It doesn't feel right.
I do, because it's Smith & Wesson. Let's see here. Let's see. Moving on. How many guns do you guys own between you? Not enough. Yeah. I couldn't even start to guess how many guns we got between us. There's a lot.
Somewhere in the 300 and 400 range. I don't know.
There's a lot. I mean, we've been collecting since we were kids. So
we used to count and have competitions on who had the most, and
then Caleb blew us away.
And I got married, and Caleb got a fairly high-paying job that he's been at for a long time, and he blew us out of the water. Between all of us, I'd say somewhere in the 400 range, something like that.
So long, Mr. President. Let's see here. Yep, no problem. No problem, G. Wheeler.
Yeah, he speaks a little German. G. Wheeler.
Yeah, I need to brush up on it. I had actually learned back when I was deployed last time, here like 2018, my team leader spoke fluent German, and we'd carry on conversations. He taught me a lot. But it's gotten very, very rusty. I haven't practiced in a long time. Have you done a study on the Santa Fe Trail and guns used by the Wagoneers?
Well, I can tell you interesting. One Wagoneer.
Yeah, we don't live very far from that Santa Fe Trail.
William Haycock.
Yeah.
I said that in a video, and some people really jumped on me, and I was like, they're like, no, it's James Butler Haycock. And I was like, yeah, I know, but for a while it was William Haycock, especially when he was a Wagoneer, and then it was Bill Hitchcock, and then it was James Butler Haycock. But you wouldn't get the name Wild Bill from James Butler. So, but yeah, William Haycock, as he was going by on the Santa Fe Trail, well known to carry a dragoon, Colt dragoon. A lot of other people you'd have found on the Santa Fe Trail would have been carrying things like flintlock, plains rifles, Hawkins. Hawkins would have been very popular in the 1840s and the Santa Fe Trail days, 1850s.
Let's see here.
Really, in the 1840s and 50s, you're really coming into rifles. Before that, mostly everybody had smoothbores.
Yeah,
1840s and 50s, you're really coming into rifles. Before that, mostly everybody had smoothbores. Before that, mostly everybody had smoothbores. Before that, mostly everybody had smoothbores. in the mountains and in that area.
Well, I've already started studying for that Northwest trade gun video, and the very first thing I read was, what was it? There were 10 times more Northwest trade guns ever manufactured than Hawkins or anything like that. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that Northwest trade gun video. Did any of you study history in secondary education, or are you just well read? Oh, we're self-educated, pretty much.
Well, I did a little college, but
yeah, Garrett went to college.
It's actually because we've lived in this small little western town that's loaded with history. Only 40 people here, but for generations and generations and generations. And on our dad's side, our grandpa was a preacher who he went to college and he studied history, mainly as a biblical thing, but he also studied a lot of American history, and we got a lot of Western history from him. He was a pastor. Our dad's a pastor. And on our other side, our family is just steeped in the history that they lived. On our mom's side, cotton pickers from Texas and Oklahoma, and the guns that have been passed down for 150 years until they come down to us. And we just picked up a lot of history from them. And then, we've been studying. We were homeschooled, and history was always our favorite. Well, Christian school, but homeschooled for a while, and history was always our favorite subject. And so we read. We didn't have any internet until probably 2010 that was available to us. So we just read history books and read history books and read history books. But yeah, self-taught mostly.
Yeah. That was one thing that when we were in school, we went to a one-room schoolhouse, Christian school, and we read a lot of history. We'll just say that. That was our big deal. That was something our dad always just kind of pushed us in that direction. He's like, whatever subject you guys want to excel in, and we really did history, and our dad taught us a lot about history.
And like I said, coming from a long line of ministers on that side, they could set you down and give you a history lesson that could go on for a while.
well, Gunfighter. Yes, me and Garrett have been talking about this a lot here recently. Old Brushy Bill.
I'm not a believer.
Yeah, I don't think I am either. I mean, it could be, but I don't know. There's a lot of things that happen with the census if you actually look into it. There's some other channels that have covered it pretty well, and
go check out Wild West Extravaganza.
Well, yeah, and I like the way he described it. If you actually listen to his whole story, if you're going to believe Brushy Bill, you got to believe that Brushy Bill was Billy the Kid. You got to believe that Brushy Bill fought the Mexican government after he supposedly got killed. You got to believe that Brushy Bill fought in the Spanish-American War, was a war hero. You got to believe that Brushy Bill, or Billy the Kid, then became a professional boxer.
And then with Pancho Villa.
Yeah, he fought Pancho Villa, and Pancho Villa put a hit out on him, and he went, and he was the biggest, stopped the horse stealing, became one of the biggest horse, what was they called that? The Horse Thief Association, Anti-Horse Thief Association. He became the leader of that. Yeah, I could have accepted it before old Brushy Bill really made it sound like he was the #1 hero of the West. So I don't know. It could be, but
Billy the Kid lived one of the wildest lives in the West and was officially killed at the age of 21. Do you think 21-year-old Billy the Kid just disappeared into history and just lived a perfectly normal life and kept that secret? I don't think a 21-year-old could keep that kind of secret. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It could be, but I don't know. That's pretty. I think G. Wheeler's right here. Sounds like he was definitely a tail spinner. According to his census records, Brushy Bill did fight in the Spanish-American War, but that's about the only part of that story that the census records could actually prove. Which is kind of sad.
We saw that gun sell, Gunfighter. We were
Yeah,
just
we
having
were
that
just talking about that too. Because I was reading about Pat Garrett actually in the Model 3 Russian, and I've got the gun that is 50 serial numbers off of that one.
He owned it, but that's not the gun he used to kill Billy the Kid.
No.
That gun was well documented that was a Colt.
Yeah. Let's see here. 1812 breech lock. Once again, I don't know, man. I know about the Hall, but I think that's 1816 if I remember right.
19.
No, the Hall breech loading rifle.
1819. Hall.
Was it the 1819? Yeah, I don't know. That's when you start getting into some of the more
era.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm definitely with the mostly 18th century guns. 1795 Springfield's about as new as I've gone so far in the flintlock era. Well, except for the 1870 Belgian trade gun.
Well, a gunfighter. I'll tell you something else. Pat Garrett. We're talking about his pistol. What I really like is his rifle, which was a 73 Winchester 73 4440 that was cut down to 13-inch barrel. The only and Buntline or whoever it was that put him in the books
over there,
made a big deal out of that, and it caused a pandemic of cut down Winchester 1873s. As a matter of fact, I have one. It's of course it's legal now because it's antique, but yeah, you go look around, you look at Pat Garrett's rifle, and you go look around, you will find a lot of people that after that, a lot of kids probably took the old rifle and cut her down.
So asking if we have any antique guns or are they all just replicas? What's the oldest gun we have? The oldest gun we have is
what's the oldest gun you have?
The oldest gun I have, which is out of all of us, I have the oldest gun, which is an original Brown Bess, which was converted to percussion cap. And for a long time, I thought it was a cut down long land pattern, but I'm pretty sure it's actually a short land pattern. But we've got a lot of actual antiques in here. I mean, a lot. Like Garrett, he's got an original 1873 Winchester. Like I said, this a Colt. That's a 1877. But I think this one's not actually an antique. I think this one was made 03, if I remember right. So it's not technically an antique.
My oldest one I own right now is a original Enfield Confederate gun, Civil War. It's been bored out since the war. It's I don't know what the date on it is exactly, but
we got a 43 Spanish up there on the wall. Yeah, we got that 43 Spanish that someday when Dick puts his video out, we're gonna hide.
Dick, if you're watching, when are we gonna get to see that video?
We'll just put it this way: if you guys got a 43 Spanish, be very, very careful about shooting it.
About your brass, not the gun necessarily.
Yeah, it's the brass.
The gun does exactly what it's supposed to. Some of the brass you buy nowadays isn't the best.
Let's see.
And Lynn Simpson, I kind of think that Killer Miller was in on that deal of killing Pat Garrett, because usually when he said he did something,
he did it. Yeah, he was not shy about.
And I'm not sure that he claimed it per se, but he sure didn't deny it.
No.
And he killed a lot of people.
Yeah, he got more into that serial killer range. He was a little messed up, in my opinion.
Deacon Jim Miller.
Well, let's see
the
here.
Debacle. I don't know about Butch and Sundance. I can, 1 year I'll be like, yeah, they made it out of there because, they didn't ever identify, and they just two white people killed down there in South America. And then once again, I have to go back to the same story as Billy the Kid. People.
There you go, D. Wheeler.
I think he was killed down there.
Pretty sure it's a short land pattern. It's been converted over to cap lock, but it's in pretty rough shape. It would definitely need a new stock. Stock's been broken. Somebody tried to fix it. It looked pretty horrible, but this is the oldest gun we own. Yeah.
Wait,
I believe.
What's the oldest gun Caleb owns?
I wouldn't even want to say. I'm not 100% sure.
probably that root.
That 1855 root. Yeah. Good night, G. You're all right too.
Yeah. So before any other people leave and before my phone dies, because that's what I'm recording on, I'm at 9%.
You're not plugged in?
What would you guys who are in the comment section leave in the comments? What would you guys like to see for an upcoming YouTube video? Not saying we could do it, but we're really kind of needing some ideas here that we want our subscribers to kind of
And if you say the gun,
tell us what they want.
If you say the gun, it's probably around here. So.
Oh yeah, I'm sure we got one somewhere.
Now you do it.
Now they're gonna ask for a 1776 British rifle.
Yeah.
I'm really gonna have to look into that. That's something I'm pretty sure I've heard of it, but yeah, that would definitely.
Can you see how many people are still there?
Yes, we've got 8 people right now. We've been going between 8 and 12.
Good.
Yeah. Let's see here. While they're coming up with their ideas, what do you want to say about that pumpkin shoot, Garrett?
Right now, as it stands, I'm in second place.
Yeah, how did that happen?
I don't know.
You and Caleb were getting them sympathy. I can't talk. Sympathy votes.
Mine had to be
Guns of the Texas Rangers. We'll have to look at the beginning of the Colt series for that. Garrett went into pretty good.
Quite a few Guns of the Texas Rangers videos, but Landon, yeah, that's very doable.
Yeah,
we'll do that after Ethan's gone. If we get some more of his stuff out of the way, we will do that. It just depends on
ballistics gel test. We could do that. We've been experimenting with that. Let's just put it this way: the first time we tried it was with the Smith & Wesson Model 1 or number 1, whatever you want to call it.
Ballistics gel at 20 below zero.
Yeah, you can't really do it. It freezes as soon as you try to pull it out of the car. And then the second time we tried to do it, it was about 110 degrees out, and it pretty much melted on us. But yeah, we could do something like that. I really kind of wanted to do a ballistics gel test with a flintlock of some sort, Charleville too, because I think that would be pretty nasty. Let's see, hey guys, I'm really into the Colt Walker.
Mounted shooting with a brace of walkers. I wouldn't be able to do a brace, but I could do you some mounted shooting with a single walker. If that would work.
Yeah, I'm with the Gunfighter 45 ACP on that one. We really do need to redo the Highlander gun, the Highlander pistol.
Chapter 2. Yeah, the Highlander pistol is one of my favorites.
We got a new camera lens coming in. That's why if you hadn't noticed, some of our recent footage has been a little iffy. That's because we were trying to film with a flimsy Walmart tripod the other day, and our $1,000 camera went lens first into the dirt, and it kind of broke our lens. I mean, it still kind of worked, but it don't focus real good. So
yeah.
that Highlander video, that'll be on the list. Do what?
iPod Walker wants to see the 5110 1886 rifle. Actually, we don't own one, but I know where there's one at that we could probably get our hands on if we ask pretty please. We'll see. I mean, eventually we'll get to it. 1886, one way or the other. Don't know if it'll be 5110. I do know where there's a 5110. I don't know. Let's see.
There's a wild snapper.
Hey guys, he says.
Yeah,
we didn't do this without you, I promise. I'm thinking the 15th is the time when we're going to do the our next History Lovers live chat with a bunch of people. Hopefully on the 15th. I have already talked to the Wild Snapper there. If you guys haven't seen his channel, check it out. He shoots a bunch of original stuff. Yeah. Really good videos. He's going to surpass us pretty soon, so just remember us when you're rich and famous. Mention us in every video.
Landon Simpson wants to know if it is legal to try and make your own hollow points with soft lead bullets. Now, I'm not going to say.
Depends on where you live.
Yes, it depends on your jurisdiction. I would say just check your local laws or whatever, because I'm not going to give any legal advice. But I know for the majority of the country, it is perfectly legal. I'm sure there's some little commie county somewhere where they say it's not, but for the majority of the country, it is very legal, and I do it all the time. That's what I shoot out of my Webley mostly.
Milk, cash, and don't say nothing. New camera lens versus new gun. Tough call. Yeah, I really want a Shockwave right now. Had to buy a computer. The camera lens kind of important though.
Yeah, it should be here in a day or two.
Because we can't focus. But like I was saying, a History Lovers live chat, hopefully on the 15th. I haven't asked the date to the Wild Snapper yet, but he said he would do it, and if he can do it on the 15th, that'd be great. And I got Duke, I think, lined up for that thus far, and we'll see who else comes along. I don't mind getting Plowboy back.
Yeah, I think it's high time we revisit this old girl here.
You're gonna have to oil it now if you touched it.
Oh, I know. You see how pretty this Charlottesville is? I oil it about every night and polish it up real good.
That's how you have to treat that one.
You need to get its little cousin.
Yeah.
Good, Wild Snapper. I'll have to get your email address. I'll have Ethan get it. He's on. If you're on Facebook too, he can get it. I'm not on Facebook.
Yep, you can get a hold of me. I'm not afraid to put my Facebook information out there. You can get a hold of me at Ethan Woods on Facebook. You'll see a guy standing on top of a blown-up building with an M14 EBR. A lot skinnier than I am now. Let's see. 15th is great. Oh, well, I just hit 5% on my phone.
What do you guys want us to talk about on the History Lovers live chat? Old classic Western movies, classic guns, Colt, Smith & Wesson.
While they're thinking about that, like I said, I'm at 5%, so I'm going to have to go here pretty quick. While you're thinking of that, I got something to show here and a little proposition. We're just considering here. We haven't made up our mind yet. So, as you guys know, Noah, the champion of the pumpkin shooting competition,
he already won?
He's going to win. He's going to win. Me and him have actually been researching old slings for these old flintlock guns. And we actually came up with this one right here. We just threw this one together this afternoon. And the tail is a little long. I got to adjust it a little bit. But we're kind of considering going into making slings for these muskets. And like this one right here, this is based off of a historically accurate one. It's based off an original they found at the Battle of Brandywine on a 1766 Charlottesville. And they're just wondering if you guys might be interested in us putting out some merchandise instead of T-shirts or something like that. We can put out slings for your favorite muskets. So just a thought, but let us know what you think about that.
An arquebus that I don't know about. Now we're putting out merchandise. Gee, thanks for keeping me in the loop. You're only like 200 yards away from me. You can yell.
You what?
I said you're only like 200 yards away from me. You could yell.
Yeah.
Did they ever rifle the barrels on a pepper box? That's probably not. Because there's no sighting system. I mean, I'm not saying somebody didn't somewhere, but there's really no reason to rifle the barrel of a pepper box when there's absolutely no way to sight. All it is a smooth bore. I mean, it's.
Oh yeah, we have got a pepper box.
We got one. I mean, there's somebody probably did it somewhere. I'm not going to say they didn't, but it wasn't a very common thing.
It's a horrible gun to shoot.
Another thing is loading into rifling in a pepper box where you don't have really any form of loading lever would be loading into rifling is a lot harder than loading into smooth bore. So that's probably another reason.
Yeah, I know you guys, a lot of you guys went and bought these military heritage guns. And if you're like me, you went and tried to find a sling for it, and it can be a little tricky, especially to get a historically accurate one. But yeah, I think that's something we may pursue.
Well, he's talking about making a stock. Landon's asking.
Let's see here. Yes, I can't hardly see my phone anymore.
I made stock for a single shot cabin ball pistol. Never made a stock for a rifle. A single action army, putting the stock on that. Could be a legal issue some places, but if cat and
Yeah.
ball pistol, that probably wouldn't be no big deal.
Nope, shouldn't be.
Wild Snapper says a pepper box would be fun. Never shot one. We got one. You want it?
Yeah. Let's put it this way: the hammer. Usually, your sight picture, you're looking down the barrel of the gun. Well, somebody thought it'd be a genius idea to put that hammer right in your sight picture, so all you see when you look down the barrel is the hammer.
You have to shoot like a gangster.
Yeah, Kev said shoot it gangster style. That might be the most accurate way to shoot that gun.
There's no sighting system. So once again, back to rifling, there'd be no point in rifling, and it would be so much harder to load. Same reason the smoothbore muskets stayed around for so long.
Yeah, well, that's because a volley of men with smoothbore muskets is their equivalent of a machine gun. It would be pretty devastating. But, well, my phone is about to die. I'm at 2%, so I'm going to have to.
When he goes, I go.
Yeah, well, I don't know. We can experiment with that.
You're hosting.
Yeah, well, I'm going to have to.
I'll hang on here a minute and see how long after the host leaves this guy I go.
All right, well.
We're doing right at an hour and 11 minutes. All right, shut it off.
If this shuts off everything, well, bye.
Bye. Bye to me too. I'm going to hang around here and see. Ooh, we're big. All right, you guys got any last minute questions? I may be disappearing here just any moment. Maybe you got any last minute questions? I don't even know if you can still see me now. Hey, you still see me? I'm still alive, at least for a minute. Now I can tell you all about how terrible Smith & Wesson is and how great Colt is. See, a long time ago, a land far away, there was this guy named Colt, and he was so much better than Smith & Wesson. And Smith & Wesson came along and copied every idea he had, attempted to steal everything that he'd ever done, and still didn't sell as many guns as he did. And in the end, he was the winner and they were the losers. That's pretty much the story. Colt is number one. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to do something here. I might embarrass somebody. Just give me a second here, guys. Just a minute. Can you hear my phone ringing? Good night, gunfighter. Well, that didn't work. I was going to try to call Duke, but he must be with his family. Anyway, if you guys, like I said, got any more last minute questions, I'm not the flintlock guy, but I can talk to you a little bit. Yeah, I know, Wild Snapper. I know you love Colts. You have a lot of originals that are very nice looking guns that I wish I had. Colt is number one. Tell you what, like I said, we're getting into in the Colt series, I've already done the research for the 1855 root. We finally procured an 1855 root. It's not actually called an 1855 root in the books. It's called the new model, or the new pocket model, which is confusing because there's a few pocket models out there, but which collectors started calling it the root revolver. But yeah, be looking for that within a few weeks. I know it's been a long time since we put History of Handgun Colts out, but things just haven't worked out. But I have actually written a script for this episode. I never did that before. I just took notes and then flew by the seat of my pants, and it didn't always work out the best. So this time we're actually using the script, and it's already written, and the study's already done. So be looking for that sometime soon. Those videos take a long time to edit too, so it'll be just a little bit yet. Hi, hey, there's Olivia and Squibload. Hey, hi Squibload, how you doing? How's your garden? Is it done for the year, or you still got stuff coming in? Yeah, Snapper. I don't even know where you live, but we've been known to go around and do collaborations. Maybe someday we can get together. Everything works out. Yeah. Well, like I said, I've been too. To tell you the truth, to do the hour-long episode, the 51 Navy, I spent a month in the books on that one, and it was kind of a burnout situation for a while. And then when I did it all in one take on the old camera and editing system, which was just a cell phone. And then I got sick, and I was in a hospital intensive care, so I wasn't there when editing took place. And so in one place I said that the Hickok Tuck shot, I was talking about it, and I said St. Louis, Missouri. I meant Springfield. I knew the answer. I knew that's what it was. But a lot of people came down on that, and they were right. I was wrong. And so after that, it took me a little while before I really got fired back up to do it again. And I have a few things to fix. I mean, in the beginning of the next Colt video, there will be that I'll straighten out. And there was one or two other things through the series that I've gotten wrong. I thought I had right because the books I had were written in the 40s. And I found new information on several things, especially the Patterson. I'd like to go back and remake the Patterson video sometime, because a lot of the stuff, some of the stuff in Haven and Belden is outdated. And that was all I had at the time for books. Now I have 8 or 9 books on histories of Colt that I've been using. Hence the videos have gotten a lot longer since then, because I have access to more information. And yeah, there's a few things I will be correcting as the series goes on. Mostly from now on, we're going to be shooting original guns. 1860 Army, we might still be shooting a Uberti and a Pieta and a civilian model and a Marshall gun. But after that, a lot of the guns, there's no replicas available anymore. So after that, there will be a lot of originals being used in that series. Garden's pretty much done, huh? Oh yeah. We come in here right at the end, Squib. I do. I enjoy your gardening videos and your grill videos. I don't think I ever saw you put cooking your ribs on that grill. Oh, you live in Las Vegas, Snapper. Okay. Oh, sorry. I probably shouldn't say that. You're on the chat anyway. But actually, not too far from. I mean, we go see Duke, and then Dustin's right there in Nevada too. So he's in Utah. Sorry, he's in Utah. So might have to make the swing around there next year. We'll have to see how it works. What was my first Colt style gun? 51 Navy, brass frame. Had it for a long time. Put around 3,000 rounds through that gun, and then I converted it to a Griswold and Gunnison. And that video is still out there. We actually did a video of it. We bent the grips, we flattened the trigger guard, sanded it. We took it to a lathe and made the barrel round. Sanded the seam off the cylinder. But we got the grip frame right, and that was the most thing I was proud of. But yeah, I have had that gun for a long time. Before that, of course, when you say Colt style, I've had the Blackhawks for years and years and years. Family have had them. We've had, my granddad's had single action style 22s. My dad and all the family, and so those are Colt style guns. But if you consider the Ruger a Colt style gun, I guess. But my first actual Colt replica was a 51 Navy brass frame. But the first Colts I ever messed with were that I got to look into, take apart, were my brother-in-law's. Before he was even married, he was just a friend of mine before he married my sister. And he has an original 61 Navy and 51 Navy conversion and 38 rimfire. And those were the first two that I got to mess with. I didn't own them, but I got to extensively take them apart, look at them. That's where the love for a Colt came from. Before that brass frame, I had a 36 Remington and a 44 Remington New Model Army. I swore by them until I just got sick of them. And then I got, like I said, I got that Colt replica and never looked back. And I've had the entire replica series ever since then. At least Pietas, not all U-Birdies, but since my brothers have got into it, we've got the complete Colt collection. The only thing we were looking for, we have the double actions and the police positives, everything up there, 1911 or Colt 1911. We had the only thing we were missing was the Root revolver, and of course we don't have any originals of the Patterson Walker, things like that are impossible to get, but we have the replicas of those. So we have a representation of pretty well everything Colt from 1836 to 1911. So yeah, that's why I got into Colts. The beard of knowledge is going back. Yeah, not as fast as I'd like, Olivia. Olivia, you got to be one of the 0.6% of women that watch our channel. Yeah, Snapper, cell phone's a good thing. We did our first year and our first 52 videos on cell phone, and that was where we saw most of our growth. And then, of course, as when we finally got big enough to join the YouTube partnership program, get a little bit of money. We still don't make anything hardly, but we did invest in a higher quality camera because it's a good place to start with a phone, but you will run into people who will whine and complain eventually that your quality is not up to stuff. Got one just the other day, actually. Guy wrote Ethan a very long, nasty email about how his quality on his flintlock videos is not up to snuff. And the guy did have a YouTube channel, and I went over there and I checked it out, and he had one video that wasn't edited and was like 45 seconds long. It wasn't edited. It started in the middle of what he was saying, and it ended in the middle of what he was saying. So, yeah, you still get some of those. He's asking if I'm comfortable modifying my guns, grips, finish, etc. I am on my replicas. I've done a lot of that, especially on flintlocks. I've rust browned a lot of flintlock stuff. Like I said, we completely built Griswold and Gunnisons, and we've done all kinds of stuff like that. You know, I'm about to cut down a Remington New Model Army into a snub nose, but I don't mess with the originals. I know I would mess that up. Wild Snapper, he messed with some stuff. He make ivory grips. He's got a video out on that. If you want to go look at it, it's pretty good. He came up with a pretty good idea there, and it worked out well. Excuse me. Pardon my COVID. Yeah, not really been into Friday the 13th, Lennon. I'm more into the classics. I do like Frankenstein. Red rock is beautiful for hiking. Yeah, we have a lot of red rock around here too, guys. You are one of a kind, Olivia. I think maybe Mom's on there too, but yeah. Yeah, it's pretty quick. It's been 2 weeks or so. It's not as fast as some people's. my beard growing back. The last one before I shaved it was a 3-year growth. It's pretty full. I shaved it because it kept getting in my face and in my business and zippers and everything else. So every now and then you gotta knock it off. With some bourbon. Yeah. Yeah, probably could. I'm over it's been 16 days now since my first symptoms. I'm out of quarantine and over it. I haven't had fever in a while. But the cough just hangs around. Yes, Landon, I've seen those. Those are awesome looking. And just as soon as I can convince Duke to make me one, I'll have one on the channel. I don't really go away from Duke anymore for leather because he can just make about anything we need. Reminds me, I gotta get back with him on some of the stuff we got lined up. But yeah, as soon as Duke makes me one of those, I'll have one. He doesn't like to do belts. He probably wouldn't do suspenders either. Yeah, I'm sure you're already finding that out on YouTube. We once did a mud test between the AK and the AR-15. That was our most hated video. The AK guys all thought we were hating on the AK, and the AR guys all thought we were hating on the AR. I might have been hating on the AR a little bit. Ethan sure wasn't, but we privatized it. It got so bad. And then he recently put it back up, so if you want to go look at it, you can. But yeah, we got some nasty flack on that one. Just because we did not use steel ammo in the AK, we used brass ammo in the AK and the AR. And it turned out that just like any real life scenario, the guns both ran great, even in the mud. But as soon as you got the ammo muddy, the magazine muddy, they both shut down within one shot of each other. And that's just the cold hard facts of life. If you're in a war zone or something, it does absolutely no good to mud test the actual rifle itself, because eventually you're going to have to reload. And if that mud gets anywhere near the top of that magazine, it'll shut both of those guns down. And that was not a popular opinion with a lot of people. But yeah, it's back up now, but we took it down for a while. Yeah, we survived the COVID, all of us, except Caleb. He didn't get it. And Ethan was vaccinated and every shot you could possibly get. He still got it. Pretty bad, too. But yeah, we're surviving it. Yeah, Landon, I watch Crowder. I love Crowder. His Thanksgiving video is one of my absolute favorites. We live in Kansas, Jeffrey. What's my favorite barrel length on old Colts? Definitely, I really like 4 3/4. As far as the single action army goes, just easier to carry. I do carry them from time to time. Yeah, Crowder he's one of my go-to guys. He was sick for a long time here this summer. Kind of missed him. He's back now. Yeah. We live, Jeffrey, if you've ever heard of a place called Greensburg, Kansas, it's about 50 miles west of us here. A tornado completely wiped the entire town out. My wife was living there at the time and had the house took off of her, over her head. She was in the basement. It came down. And yeah, we get tornadoes here quite often. Not necessarily right here where I live. And the old timers say that's because I live between the joining of a creek and a river. And they say the tornadoes won't hit the joint of a creek and a river. So yeah, they're always usually 15, 20 miles away. But at least in my lifetime, I haven't had one right here. You never ran your guns with oil. Yeah. Collect a lot of dirt and dust. You were in Iraq. Thank you for your service, Wild Snapper. Pardon me. Yeah, you and Ethan will have a lot to talk about then. He's done some Middle Eastern overseas duty. You gotta have a permit for that, I believe, Landon. But not saying it won't happen. My mom's dad, my grandpa worked in mine that's just south of our little town here for 50 years, and they still do a lot of blasting out there at Jit Rock. So I'm not saying it's not an impossibility. It's not on the present radar, but it could happen. Dynamite, that is. Of course, they've moved on to fertilizer now. But you never know. That stuff shows up sometimes. All right, we've been going for an hour and 30 minutes. I'll give us 5 more minutes here, guys. And you got any last minute questions? Like I said, tune in hopefully on the 15th for another History Lovers live chat. I don't know who all we'll have yet. I believe we'll have Duke Frazier Productions and the Wild Snapper. And of course us, and we'll see who else we can get for that. Nope, don't quote me on the Duke thing yet. He hasn't given me a for sure answer. Have I ever had a major accident with a firearm? Personally, no. Outside of that time I blew up that U car. And when I did that, I knew I had loaded it too hot. And so I was back with a string. I have seen a lot of things shot. Floors shot, walls shot, refrigerators shot. Knock on wood, I have not had a major accident with a firearm yet. I know people that have, and it's not usually people that are irresponsible or doing dumb things. It's just that's the thing about firearms. You'll find that the more you mess with them, one of these days there's going to be an ND, a negligent discharge. It's going to happen. It has happened to me. It wasn't a major accident because so long as your barrel's in a safe direction downrange and you're following all the other rules, when one goes bang when you're not expecting it, everything will be fine. But I was talking to a cop the other day in a gun store, and he was saying the exact same thing. And he was 70, 80 years old, and he was running the gun store there, and he does classes on firearm safety. And he's like, I've had a lot of NDs in my life. He's like, if you mess with these things, eventually it's probably going to happen. Just always have your barrel pointed in a safe place. Free to go and I'm free to stay. How do you know that story? Oh, you were 11 bang bang too, Wild Snapper. Cool. I never was. Ethan was. Dynamite. We give Caleb dynamite for the next pumpkin carving challenge. He might do better than he did this year. We did peace treaty practice this year. We did not get to do the actual peace treaty pageant because we all came out with COVID, probably from the rehearsal. But yeah, I've been shot by blanks at close range. I took a 44 Magnum blank to the back, not by an Indian, by another guy playing a cowboy, that actually unseated me from my saddle at full gallop. When I say unseated, just got me far enough forward off balance that when the horse jumped right, I went left and off I went. Yeah, I've been shot by Indians with blanks. I've been shot by wax blanks. I've been shot by everybody finally started watching Santee and started making floral foam blanks, and I'm so thankful for that because that hurts a lot less than a wax blank. Ethan's been shot by quite a few blanks too. He does in a reenactment in the wagon scene in Peace Treaty. Them Indians tend to lay down on him for some reason with them blanks. Not supposed to actually shoot people. You're supposed to shoot next to them or down around their feet. When you're in a reenactment of a horse gunfight or something like that, a lot of times it doesn't matter because where your gun was a second ago, it's not going to be when you pull the trigger. A lot of people get shot with blanks. Here's what I think about war we might have with China if they invade Taiwan. That's going to be Ethan's issue because China is not going to invade mainland America, I don't think. So I don't have many thoughts on the subject, and being as Ethan is on this channel, I can't say a lot about political things or he might be in trouble or be implicated by it. Squiblo is sending over an email. Well, we are in an hour and 35 minutes that we've gone, everybody. I think I'm going to get ready to shut it down. Thank you all for stopping by. It's been a really good chat. We had a lot of fun. This was kind of a practice run for when Ethan does leave. Hopefully, every week or 2 weeks or whatever it is, we can get away with it. It'll be me and him live chatting. That way we get to keep some Flintlock content on the channel. And like I said, if everything works out, hopefully the 15th will be the next History Lovers live chat. Should be a Northwest trade gun in the works real quick. Double barrel flintlock. History of handguns and Colts coming. Like I said, it's already scripted. Just needs to be made. Yeah, I actually got this Cimarron, Jeffrey. I actually got this Cimarron shirt because I seen Plowboy's Ghost had one and I really liked it, and so I had my wife order it for me for my birthday. Sleepy Chan Joe. Yeah, that's no kidding. Anyway, like I said, watch out for the 15th. Hopefully have a live chat and lots of things coming on the channel. I appreciate every one of you all. I'll be talking to you, Snapper. I'll be getting in line for that deal. Hopefully it'll be around 7:30, something on the 15th. It'll be a Friday night. I'm doing it then because Ethan will only have a few days after that before he leaves. We want to do a live chat, History Lovers. Anyway, I'm not exactly sure because I don't host many of these things, but I'm going to leave the studio now, and appreciate you all watching. Stay tuned. Keep powder dry. Trust in God. Trust in God. Keep powder dry. There you go. Thanks for watching.
If you're still here, bye.